Hello and welcome to Logan, Utah, home of the Utah State Aggies, facing off against the New Mexico Lobos. Live where it has been 20 degrees or lower all week long. And we have a great Mountain West matchup to give you here. Derek Clark along with Coach Joe Cravens. Take a look at the Mountain West standings. Both teams beating each other up here. As you see the top of the Mountain West standings, it's a bloodbath. So it should be a great game, and Richard Patino, in his second season leading this New Mexico squad, is going to try to do what no team has done since 2016, is beat Utah State at home. Ryan Odom is the head coach of Utah State, and New Mexico will see if they can knock them off for the first time in 7 years. Take a look at the starting lineups. Jamal Mashburn Jr. and Jalen House in the backcourt, the number 1 and 3 scorer in the Mountain West. They'll have their hands full with Steven Ashworth and Taylor Funk, two of the best shooters in the Mountain West. So, Coach, this is going to be a great matchup here. Both teams looking to get a big win here in the Mountain West early on.
Well, I think this is going to be a very, very competitive game. Derek, it's now February. Everyone's eyes on March. Two big, strong teams. Look for this to be a very competitive affair tonight.
And the tip is controlled by the visiting New Mexico Lobos. Take a look at Jalen House, who is going to be involved in everything that New Mexico tries to do.
Good ball screen defense there by the big fella Dorius, who's going to have to play a big part against this physical front line of the Lobos.
And good defense there by Utah State. Ball will stay with New Mexico, forcing House into a tough shot. House last year did not play well in either of the two matchups against Utah State. Hopefully he can get off to a better start.
The Lobos have lost 5 straight to the Aggies. They've lost 5 straight years here in Logan.
And Mashburn gets the scoring started.
The conference leading scorer and maybe the best middle game guy in the entire nation. He'll wear you out from about 15 to 17 feet with that pull-up. He can really get it going.
Good ball movement by Utah State. Up fake, Shoga 3. Listen to this Utah State crowd. They packed this thing out. It's about 10,000 strong here, hoping to give their home team a lift here. They can knock off this New Mexico team. This would be a huge win for New Mexico if they can finish it off.
This will be a quad win for either team today. And again, in February, that looms huge. Udeze, who is a beast in the post. Sometimes he has a little trouble hanging on to it. Not great hands, great feet, though, when he catches it. Very well versed in the low post.
There's the first basket for Utah State as Max Shoga rattles in the 3 from the corner.
Shoga coming off a tough game where he only had 2 points, 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from the three-point line. The Aggies, the leading three-point shooting team in the league, is going to have to shoot it very well against these Lobos.
Here's a one-on-one play for Udeze, and it's knocked off his leg. Diving on the floor is Shoga, and fighting with Mashburn. Mashburn comes up with it. Down to Udeze. Looking, can't find anybody. And the shot clock expires, and that is going to be a shot clock violation. Coach, I think the crowd had something to do with that.
Well, Dorius can really help defending wise against Udeze, who is just a beast in the post, the number 1 rebounder in the league, number 6 scoring. But Dorius at 7'1", 240 pounds, did exactly what he needed to do that last time. It stayed between Udeze and the basket.
And Ashworth knocks down the second 3 for Utah State.
And the leading three-point shooter in the entire league, number 3 in the nation, Steven Ashburn, showing you how it's done outside that three-point line.
Another turnover here for New Mexico.
Great crowd here tonight in the Spectrum, over 10,000, or right at 10,000 anyway. The Lobos, of course, used to playing in front of big crowds. 15,000, their third sellout crowd in their last. With that front line, especially not real deep. Once you get past Udeze and Alec, they get pretty thin after that. Odeze with one foul there, and certainly you don't want him wasting a foul on a guy 30 feet from the basket. But I talked about Ashworth's shot fake, one of the best shot fakes I've seen for a while. Really compact, hard not to bite on. And as I said, one of the very, very top free throw shooters in the league at number 2, 85%.
Well, Coach, when you've shot over 50% for well over half the season from downtown, you can understand why these defenders would get a little bit anxious jumping out at them from beyond the arc.
Well, this is a great matchup of point guards with House and Ashworth.
And want to welcome in a new audience to Logan, Utah, where the Utah State Aggies currently ahead of New Mexico 9-2 as Alec drew a foul, and he will be at the free throw line. Derek Clark here with Coach Joe Cravens, here to bring you this big-time Mountain West clash as both of these teams try to battle for early supremacy early on in the Mountain West in February.
This has been a tough place for the Lobos to win. They haven't won here in their last 5 tries. They haven't beat the Aggies in their last 5 games, home or away. The Lobos trying to extend on that great start they've had. Both these teams have had great starts.
Funk from way out there, but Dorius and very well could have had an end one there as he came in, got the offensive rebound and scored.
Craven Dorius, 7'1", 240 pounds. You're going to have to put a body on him. That's what he can do. He can go fetch it if you give him a free lane to the basket.
And Funk, after he was fouled, made a demonstrative swinging of his arms for the official, and it's actually going to be a flop on Funk if you're trying to draw a foul.
That's a lot better than a foul or a technical foul.
Right.
If that had been a technical foul, that would have been Funk's second foul, the second leading three-point shooter in terms of percentage and makes per game. I think foul trouble could be big for either one of these teams, obviously if it's a key player like Udeze or Funk.
You feel like this is a big possession here early on for New Mexico as they have not hit a shot from the floor in the last 3 minutes. And happy feet, and Udeze travel.
Udeze off to a tough start. Couple turnovers, and Dorius playing a great defensive game. A guy that doesn't put up big numbers, 5.5 points, 4 rebounds, but he is doing everything he needs to do to hold Udeze in check.
New Mexico commits their 4th turnover.
Funk, not a great driver. As you just saw, a straight line driver, but he can shoot it in from way, way out there.
Funk on a one-on-one, in trouble, shot clock winding down. Here's Bairstow.
Nice instinctive cut by Bairstow there. Funk was kind of in trouble. Bairstow coming off a nice 9.8 rebound game in their win over at Fresno State. 8 rebounds, tied a season high. Rebounding is going to be huge, huge in this game. I'm telling you, this year in the Mountain West Conference, if you don't come to the game and rebound, you're going to get embarrassed. Last year, the Lobos lost in overtime in the pit against the Aggies. Here in Logan, they got boat raced and got beat by 25.
Funk on the miss from 3 there. As here is Mashburn. Had that early bucket. He pulls up. No good. And crashing towards the sidelines is Ashworth. And thank you to the FS2 audience. We are going to be headed over to FS1 after the break here from Utah State. 13-5, Aggies up early on. .15 to go here in this Mountain West game, and Derek Clark here with Coach Joe Cravens to bring you this Mountain West matchup. And this is a big-time Mountain West matchup, as we've talked about on the broadcast. And, Coach, how are these standings looking so far?
Well, this is a huge matchup within conference play. You can see things bunched up there. Whoever wins this, obviously, moves up. And keep in mind, it's February with people on their eyes toward March and postseason play. This is a quad one game, meaning whoever wins this gets a quad one win, which will be big on Selection Sunday.
Yeah, Utah State here at home has been virtually unbeatable. They are 10-1 overall here from Logan, and they are 4-0. They have not lost yet in the Mountain West. So this is a tough place to play for anybody, but especially for a New Mexico team that has not had any success here recently. They've dropped 8 of their last 9 to Utah State, and as we mentioned earlier, they have not won here since 2016.
Well, as they say back home, the Dead Sea was only sick the last time they won here, Derek. Utah State off to a 13-5 start. They're shooting 57%. The Lobos, a tough start in this hostile environment. Only 1 for 4, 25%, and they have 4 turnovers, which is not a good start.
Yeah, and Utah State has turned those turnovers into 11 points. And if you look at the score, they only have 13. So that tells you that New Mexico has got to clean it up if they want to stay in this game and keep the crowd out of it.
Well, this place seats 10,200, and it's not packed, probably somewhere around 9,000, but it is awfully, awfully loud.
Atkin in the game for the first time. Ashworth looking for it. Good catch, and can't finish. Rebound controlled by Alec.
That's a great catch by Atkin. Maybe the 6th man of the year in the league, coming off a season-high 23 points. His 6th double-double leads all bench players around the United States.
Mashburn getting to his spot. He loves that elbow mid-range jumper.
He does. He should write his name on the floor there, maybe get a lawn chair and put there, because he's going to wear that spot out. The best middle game maybe in the entire nation, certainly in the Mountain West Conference.
Here is Atkin on a post-up.
And boy, this is going to be quite the matchup too. Atkin and Udeze, 2 really big strong.
That time Funk on the drive there. Usually outside, that time going inside.
Yeah, Funk is not a huge drive guy, and when he does, he's what's called a straight line driver. He's going to put his head down and go straight to the basket. Where he's most dangerous is outside the 3-point line, but if you give him the line to the basket like you just saw, he'll take it.
Unable to finish, but getting his own rebound is Udeze, and he draws the foul and puts it in.
I'm telling you, those are 2 big, mean hombres going at each other there. Udeze misses on the first one and goes up. Really good defense by Atkin there, and boy, Udeze is just sawmill strong when he gets it down around that low post. A great 2-handed rebounder there, and just forcing it back into the basket.
Just a 62% free throw shooter as coming into the game, KJ Jenkins, the laser shooter from downtown.
Udeze coming off a 15.8 rebound game where they beat Air Force in the pit last week, 81-73. Air Force giving the Lobos all they wanted. They held the lead till late in the game. Morris Udeze, the leading rebounder in the league, the 6th leading scorer and 2nd in field goal percentage. And if there was a category for inflicting bumps and bruises and pain, he would be the #1 guy there too. He is just rougher than an old corn cob when he catches it in the low post.
And he's at the line, and he cannot make the and-1 free throw. Ball's on the ground. Ashworth has got it. Idle Rock also came in for Utah State. He's in the bottom corner of your screen. Pick and roll. Bairstow, floater.
Bairstow with a little height advantage on that one. Remember, Bairstow is kind of a small forward in terms of position, but about 6'8", and he has the advantage once he gets it to the paint to shoot it over a smaller defender, as you just saw.
Mashburn with 5 points, looking for more, and he cannot get the roll. Here comes Utah State. They're running again.
Mashburn riding the wave of 6 straight 20-point outings, 43 straight games where he scored double figures.
How about that shot from Taylor Funk, pulling out his Dirk Nowitzki bag. Great shot there.
I thought Funk was going to be a tough matchup for the Lobos, but not for what you're seeing, not for him getting to the paint and completing plays. I thought he was going to be a tough matchup because he usually hangs out around the three-point line, and that was going to be a tough matchup for the two Lobo post guys.
Udeze, Akin, double comes. And unable to get that to go as Alec down low.
You see, watch Funk on his second straight move to the basket. Remember, he shot a little reverse just about a minute ago and a little fall away there. The big 6'9" senior transfer from St. Joseph has made quite an impact, quite an impression on the Mountain West Conference this year.
Mexico will keep this ball. They're in a 19-9 hole early on here. As lots of confusion with the referees with substitutions over there on the sideline. Coach Patino is...
I thought it was just you and I that were confused. Yeah. We got guys coming in, guys going out. One guy's got a hot dog and Coke in his hand there. I'm not sure where he went during that time.
Sebastian Forsling in for New Mexico, as here is Mashburn to the basket and can't get it to go again. It's going to go to the Aggies.
That was a bad matchup there. The Mashburn couldn't take advantage of. He had the 6'9" Akin on him, and Idle Rock, who has turned into a very, very valuable substitute this year, in on that rebound. Idle Rock started 30 of 31 games last year, has been relegated to now a 6th or 7th guy off the bench, but very valuable.
And here's a foul, tripping foul, as Bairstow was driving.
KJ Jenkins, the designated shooter, off the bench. Kid who's played 21 games with one start. He had one stretch this year, 5 straight games where he made 3 or more three-point shots.
Here comes Donovan Dent into the game, 2022 California Mr. Basketball in high school. He's one of the young freshmen of this team that's Richard Patino hopes is going to be a great piece going forward for his Lobo squad. Lots of potential in that guy. Akin, too easy.
And what a nice pass by Stephen Ashworth, the guy that leads the league in assist-to-turnover ratio, is 3rd in assists overall, has an unbelievable assist-to-turnover ratio, 104 assists and 33 turnovers. That's off the chart for Ashworth.
House on the miss, and New Mexico is very, very cold.
What a great matchup between these two smallish point guards with House and Ashworth.
Oh, we have a fight on the floor for the basketball. And what will the referees rule? It looks like it'll be a jump ball going the other way. And here's a look at that nice pass to Akin, and too big, too close, too easy. Welcome back to Logan. It's 21-9 Utah State, trying to get this very, very important game. Take a look at what's coming up for the Utah State Aggies and look at what they've done so far.
Well, they've got an outstanding 17-5 record, and they're right in the thick of things in the Mountain West Conference, but 0 for 3 in quad 1 games, 4-0 in quad 2 games. A win tonight would go a long, long way of giving that resume a boost. A net 34, Ken Palm 50. I mean, they're right there, but boy, a win tonight would really, really help them.
Utah State shooting 67% from the floor so far. New Mexico is cold at 27%, and there goes Akin again, getting to the basket, and he has been right around the rim all night long, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Boy, Akin had one thing on his mind when he put that ball on the court, going over you, around you, or through you if you were trying to get between him and the basket. He's coming off a season high 23 points, which was his 16th double-figure game of the year. As I mentioned earlier, he has 6 double-doubles, which leads the nation for bench players. It's hard for me to imagine him as a bench player. He kind of fills that description, a bench guy that gets starters minutes. He has been outstanding for the Aggies this year.
Yeah, he knocks down both free throws, and it was a run that Akin went on, a personal 6-0 run that blew open that game against Fresno State. Akin is a great player, played under Odom at UMBC, played for the British national team with Idle Rock, and there's a turnover for New Mexico again.
The Lobos' 5th turnover, and they have yet to have an assist. 5 turnovers, no assists.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that was about to be a highlight, but a foul prevented that Akin slam. Big drive there by Hamoda, setting him up.
Now going back to Funk's 2 drives to the paint, that drive to the paint. Lobos have got to do a better job of guarding the dribble drive, giving up way too much dribble penetration. And when that ball is penetrated to the paint, bad things happen if you're on defense.
And Forsling quickly picks up 2 quick fouls. Back up center off the bench, and he's going to have to go back to the bench with those fouls, as Atkins knocked down another free throw.
Atkins 68% free throw shooter, but boy, he has shot the last couple really nice. Great rotation on the ball, really held his follow through. Again, he is making a huge bid to be the 6th man of the year in the Mountain West Conference.
And are we going to get a lane violation here? It looks like that's exactly what we're going to get, as Atkins will get another chance.
Now, I don't know if that goes down as a turnover or not, but it goes down as a not very intellectual move by the Lobos playing on the road.
And they essentially just gave Atkins a point right there. Sure, Coach, if those are the types of things that probably drove you crazy. Lane violations, just things that don't need to happen if you're trying to win a big game like this, and just mental mistakes.
Those are the type of things that drove me to broadcasting.
Ashburn in some trouble. Johnson fires away, and he hits. And Johnson was one of the heroes of the game that they had their first game last year. He hit 7 3-pointers, his career high. In that game they lost at home to Utah State last year. And Johnson's a guy that Pitino wants to get going, and he's a guy that Odom does not want to get going.
Well, he's kind of a glue guy on this team. He doesn't put up big stats, but an outstanding defender, a good rebounder, and when he's open, he can shoot in, just like you saw. Decent shot by Atkins there. I thought he was off balance, which anytime you're off balance, that usually is not a good thing.
And New Mexico remains cold as ice from the floor.
Nice rebound by Shogun.
Wide open, Atkins on the slam. Coach, who was guarding it?
A complete breakdown in transition defense. I used to tell my team, there's 5 of them, there's 5 of us. Who's got that guy who was wide open to a dunk?
And speaking of 5, Utah State has hit their last 5 shots. And here is Udeze right back at him.
I'm telling you, when he catches it in the low post, the women and children need to go hide because a violent act is getting ready to take place. He just brings it right at you. Boy, he is a tough hombre in there. Both teams going pretty deep to their bench, actually. Both teams not terribly deep, but deep enough.
Pass was tipped. Shot clock is winding down, and New Mexico's going to get a steal.
I'm not sure who Amoda thought that ball was going to go to there.
I don't know
think that is the Aggies' first turnover.
Ashburn, another tough double clutch drive. But look who's there on the offensive rebound. He is too strong.
I'm telling you what. Udeze
takes your words out.
He is just the tallest hog at the trough in most games. Now, I tell you, Dorius did a pretty good job on him because Dorius has the size at 7'1", 240. Right now, Atkins just has got all he can do to handle Udeze, the league's leading rebounder.
And he's leading New Mexico in scoring right now with 6 points. Hamoda. Oh, that may have been partially blocked there. Here comes New Mexico on a little bit of a run here. Watch out. Jenkins lines it up. Can't get it to go. Boy, if you'd hit that one, you would have felt a little bit better about yourselves. As
and Hamoda complained all the way down the court, and that was his guy that had the wide open shot. If I was his coach, I'd say you need to do a little less refereeing, a whole lot more guarding on that.
And Shoga is going to be called for a carry. And that is going to bring us into our next media timeout. And look here at this beast inside. Udeze is carrying the Lobos on his back. The spin, the turn, the finish. Back here with you at D. Glen and Utah State. Up 27-16, just under 8 minutes to go in the game. And take a look at Z Hamoda. He spanned the globe to live out his dream on the basketball court. He is from Bahrain and has represented his home country in international competitions. He played a year prep ball in Bridgeton, Maine, and from there he made his way to Logan and Utah State, and he is the first Division I player ever to come from Bahrain. Talk about the pride of your country.
And he's been a nice fit for this team. The Aggies go at least 8 deep and a nice rotation of 80s, averaging 6 points and 3 rebounds, but he has become a very valuable rotation guy for these Aggies. Now my guy Traven Dorius back in to try to hold Morris Udeze, who has just been terrorizing the Aggies on the low block here in the first half.
6 points, 3 rebounds for Udeze. Mashburn trying to get going. Beautiful shot off the glass.
And I thought that was a pretty good matchup. Homoda at 6'7" on Mashburn. Mashburn didn't pay him much attention though. Really nice pull up off the glass. I said before, Mashburn riding the wave of 6 straight 20 points or more games and 43 straight games in double figures.
A little bit of scramble for the basketball. Homoda's got it. Shot clock is winding down. Here is Shulga. This is not a great possession, but what can Shulga make of it? Nothing. And coach, that was trouble from the get-go, and this scoring drought continues.
Here's Mashburn on this nice shot fake here. I thought Homoda's length would give him some trouble, and just a nice little about 6-footer off the glass there. The league's leading scorer, 1,000-point scorer in his career. These Lobos have 3,000-point scorers on the court in their starting 5.
And by the way, Mashburn has a ridiculous streak. Get this, 43 straight games in double figures. And here is Johnson again from the outside.
Well, that's the second longest streak in the nation, but he's got a ways to go to catch the next guy, Antonio Davis at University of Detroit. 133 straight games in double figures. That's the coach's son. He's been in double figures every game in his career.
And coach, don't look now, but New Mexico is calling their way back into this game, and they've got another turnover.
Well, they've been better defensively at the half court, and the Aggies have obliged them by having 3 turnovers here in about the last 3 minutes.
Mashburn a pull-up 3, no good.
Ashworth got a break there going under that ball screen, and Mashburn stopped right behind it.
Speaking of Ashworth, nope, no good that time. And the scoring drought continues. No point for the last 4 minutes for Utah State.
6-point game now, 27-21.
Dent after Burns. Oh, what a rejection by Dorius, what a foul. And the crowd is not going to like that. I would love to see a replay of that.
Well, I think Dorius was in good shape had he not swung down on the ball. Look at him, just couldn't stand it. If he would have got there and put his body between Dent and the rim, he'd been in good shape, but like a lot of big guys, they want to show you they can block your shot. Dent hurt his ankle really bad against Air Force in their last game in the pit. I didn't know if he was going to be able to play in this game or not. Dent, as you mentioned, California's Mr. Basketball, 4 double-figure games. Here's a very interesting stat about Dent. He's second on the team in assists. And how about this? Tied for the the team lead in blocked shots at 18, which is incredible for a guy 6'2".
The run continues for New Mexico, 11-0. Utah State in a scoring drought. They've allowed New Mexico to get back in this one.
Tried to run a little set to go to Funk then to either let him get to the basket or shoot a 3.
And Dorius had the much smaller Javonte Johnson on him, and he had no choice but to hack and foul as the double team came too late.
As I mentioned, Dorius 7'1", 240 pounds, is big enough to go bear hunting with a switch, and when he gets a guy that's 6'6" on him, he just simply backs him into the basket. And Javonte Johnson, as much as I like him as a defender, had no chance in that situation.
70% free throw shooter is Traven Dorius, the big man. And he gets that one to roll in.
Nice touch by the big guy coming off a 6.3 rebound game, which is about right for him. They had a nice win on the road against Fresno State, 70-53. But this is a huge opportunity for the Aggies tonight if they can pull this quad 1 win off against the Lobos.
That snaps a near 5-minute drought for Utah State. Mexico capturing a little bit of momentum here, Coach.
I tell you, guy's name we haven't called almost all night is the second leading scorer in the league, Jalen House, has not tallied yet.
And he's not on the, oh, there he is on the floor right there, and he gets a steal. Nope, can't get up to it, near steal.
Second in the league in steals. He almost came up with his first one there of the night. I'll tell you, a big part of the Aggies' drought in scoring is the Lobos' defense. They have really tightened things up.
Funk, another little bank shot.
Taylor Funk, the graduate transfer from St. Joseph University. His 6th year of college now. He had a redshirt year while he was at St. Joe's, and then his COVID year.
And not on the same page with his receiver was Alec. And
Funk scoring in a lot of different ways tonight than what I thought. The second leading three-point shooter in terms of percentage and makes, has yet to make a three-point shot, but he's made all kinds of pull-ups and little runners. Kind of an interesting combination now, playing Funk and Dorius together.
Ashworth Dorius catches it inside, can't finish. He gets his own rebound. Crowd wants a travel, but I believe it went off the glass. Funk
He is so big, he just carves out room under the basket. Does Dorius.
Bairstow with the shot clock winding down and knocks down the shot clock. Cheese.
How about Sean Bairstow, a kid who shot 12% from the three-point line last year, 41% this year, as the Aggies on a little bit of run, up 11 here with 4 minutes left.
Sunday, buckle up, because one of NASCAR's most thrilling events is returning to the Los Angeles Coliseum under the lights. NASCAR's Busch Light Class at the Coliseum Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Back here with you in Logan, where it's been a game of runs, Coach. You saw Utah State jump on New Mexico early on. Then New Mexico kind of captured the momentum back. But then Utah State has gone on a 7-0 run over the last minute and a half to recapture control of this game.
Well, they held on to the ball. They had 3 turnovers there in about 4 minutes. They have 3 for the game with 6 assists, which isn't too bad. The Lobos, on the other hand, 7 turnovers and but 1 assist. Dan Atkin back in the game, the game's leading scorer with 8 points. Though I've got him down for 2 fouls, I'm a little surprised he's back in the game.
Long post up for Bairstow, taking forever with the basketball. Gets it back from Ashworth, and he travels.
Make that 4 turnovers now for the Aggies, and it is amazing. A guy that we have barely called his name, Jalen House, the second leading scorer in the league, 0 for 3, no points, no assists, no steals. He has been, I don't want to say non-existent, but he hasn't put up many stats yet here in the first 17 minutes.
He's only taken 3 shots. And a push inside.
And now that's going to be Funk's second foul. Now they've got 2 or 3 big guys with 2 fouls, and I said foul trouble could be huge.
Coach, Funk, a very emotional player. He's got to watch himself here as he slammed the ground demonstratively. That's the second time he made a demonstrative gesture toward the officials. Officials giving him some rope here, but he's got to be careful.
Well, some veteran officials here. They know to give guys a little rope. Greg Nixon, Michael Greenstand, and Sean Lehigh, 3 very, very outstanding officials.
One guy who has not been quiet at all is Jamal Mashburn Jr., and he's got another bucket inside to go. 9
points now by Mashburn, who leads all scorers, and he is just the middleman. He loves to get to that middle game shot, which goes against every analytic in college basketball right now. But all you got to do is look at the score sheet to see he's pretty successful at it.
There's a tough foul on House as he was attempting to close out on Ashworth, and that's that pressure that Ashworth puts on you when he gets that ball beyond the arc. have to settle in there, chop your feet, right, Coach?
Well, you have to try to run him off there, but which is almost impossible because he has such an outstanding shot fake, a very economic, very compact shot fake. And while you're running at him thinking you're going to chase him off there, he gets you up in the air and then forces the issue. I talked about his outstanding assist-to-turnover ratio, the #1 guy in the league in assist-to-turnover ratio.
They're still cooking. Shoga has it. That was all created by the absolute dance in the club that Bairstow was doing on the sideline. And he got it to Atkin, and he got it to Shoga. Well, what a great decision by Dan Atkin, passing up a decent shot for him for a great shot by Shoga. Really good team basketball there. Crowd wanted to travel. New Mexico will keep it. Shot clock winding down and dribble off his foot. In some trouble, New Mexico. Master going to try to bail him out. Ball's on the floor. Who wants it? Utah State's got it. And they're running the other way. Look at the big fella, 7'1". Oh, what a rejection by Donovan Dent. Are you serious? Here's the block. Wow. And that was followed by a great hustle play by Doris at 7'1", 240 pounds, going parallel to the floor to get that loose ball. And I talked to Coach Pitino in the pregame about which player is the most likely to make a highlight play like that. He pointed right at #2, and Dent, true to form, as you said, one of the best shot-blocking guards in the entire Mountain West, maybe one of the best shot-blocking guards in the country, just had a nice one right there. Well, he's tied with Josiah Alec. Alec, the leading offensive rebounder, and 6'8" with great hops. How about Donovan Dent at 6'2", now with 19 block shots on the year. Ashworth back to the line where he is money, money, and more money. Boy, he just snaps that thing off to watch him talk to his big guy. Let's don't get into a one-on-one deal with the two big guys from the Lobos. Ashworth is having a great year, not as good a year as he was having, something we may talk about later with Ryland Jones, the starting point guard, out of the lineup. Ashworth's game has changed quite a bit. Still very, very productive. They have not missed as a team from the line, 11 of 11. Well, they're the #1 free throw shooting team in the Mountain West Conference, #2 in assist-to-turnover ratio. Odeze back in the game. This time he's doubled, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Odeze is going to not like that call. The double came and forced that turnover, and there's a look at Ryland Jones, but here's Udeze, and you decide on that, Coach. Well, that's 7'1", 240. He knocked off his center of gravity. Yeah. As I told you, when Udeze catches it down there, it's like Mortal Kombat. He's going to turn and bring it right at you. As I was preparing for this game, I thought Traven Doris could really, really help guarding Big Morris Udeze, because not only does he have size, he's got nice lateral quickness, and you just saw that. He's contributing in a big way at the defensive end. There's another bucket by Bairstow. Bairstow on a tough finish with his left hand around the rim. A guy that averages over 10 points. Utah State with 5 guys averaging double figures. And Massler, that was partially blocked. Utah State is running again. Ashworth. And stripped out of his hands by Dent. I tell you, Utah State, to me, has kind of switched the switch a little bit. I know if you're a Lobo coach, or what's been the sermon all week, is you got to guard the three-point line. And I'm telling you what, the Aggies are bringing it right at the Lobos. Dribble driving, really being aggressive in the paint. Bairstow putting on the brakes. Dorius on the glass. Atkin on the glass. Utah State beating him to the punch. Shoga! And he hits in the corner. And any coach will tell you the best time to shoot a three-point shot is after an offensive rebound, because the defense is not matched up. And how about that finish by last year's California Mr. Basketball? You could no longer call him a freshman this late in the year, but that was fabulous. Donovan Dent, what a great future he has for these Lobos. Dent with a few crowd silencers, 2 on defense, 1 on offense. Clock winding down here as Utah State will work it for the final shot. Ashworth, a floater.
Wow.
Final gasp here for New Mexico, and a bad foul at half court by Dorius as Dent was maneuvering and swerving his way to a potential buzzer beater, and that is not a good foul.
I'm telling you what, that would make a preacher cuss there. Dorius at 7'1", reaching in on a 6'2" guard, trying to take it to him. Good Lordy. And luckily they are not in the bonus. That does not magnify it near as much as what it would have been.
New Mexico does still have a chance here. 2.8 seconds to go in the half. Dent. He gets it off, and it is short. And that is how the first half will end, with Utah State putting their foot on the throats of New Mexico, trying to get a big-time win in quad one play. We'll be back after this short break. Utah State on top.